Thank you, sir. I request all our speakers, please come to the dais. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Respected sir, Lokesh Sharma sir, please sir come to the dais. Thank you so much all our speakers. Now I request to present the supplings and badges to our honorable speakers. Please. It's a request to please honor our speakers with supplings and badges. Thank you, thank you. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Together, today we gather here to explore a subject that is not just timely but transformative. Our theme, media forensic and synthetic media, the ginger effects, invite us to look deeply into the delicate space between what is real and what is recreated. It is said that the camera never lies, but today we live in an age where even the lens can be deceived. The screen can whisper stories that never truly happened. Voice can be cloned, and reality can be manifested with a single click. As the poet Rumi once wrote, what you see is a shadow of what is unseen. In the era of synthetic media, these lines feel more relevant than ever. But we are also living in a time when human intelligence, ethics, technology can come together to defend truth, protect society, and empower communication. Synthetic media is not just a threat, it's a tool, a powerful, creative, disruptive tool. And a challenge or an opportunity depends entirely on how we understand it, regulate it, and use it. That's why sessions like this one are so important because knowledge is the best antidote of misinformation and awareness is our strongest shield against digital manipulation. Today's session it brings together some of the finest minds, thinkers, visionaries, innovators, and experts who stand at the frontier of this evolutionary landscape, scholars who uncover hidden layers of digital world, and experts who defend the integrity of media with science, skill, and insight. So let us embark on this journey together with curiosity in our minds and responsibility in our hearts and truth our guideline star. Thank you. Now it's my privilege to introduce our distinguished speakers for this plenary session. First, I have to introduce our chairperson, Professor Pradeep Malik sir. of Mass Communication, School of Library Studies, Pandit Deendayal Energy University, Gandhinagar. Professor Malik is an eminent academician in the field of mass communication and contributes extensively to teaching research and scholars engagement in media studies. His experience and scholarship bring great value to our discussion today, and we are honored to have him with us. Sir, we welcome to the session and look forward to your enriched deliberation. Thank you, sir. Next, we are honored to have with us Dr. Lokesh Sharma, Associate Professor of Journalism and Mass Communication, Media Expert at Banastali Vidyapeeth, Rajasthan. He is an inspiring academic voice whose work bridges theory, practice, and social purpose. His insight empower your minds to think critically, act ethically, and contribute mindfully to the media landscape. Sir, we warmly welcome you and look forward to your enlightening perspective. Thank you, sir. In a world drowning in data, we need navigational experts who can steer us towards the truth. Our next speaker is precisely that expert. Please welcome Mr. Joydeep Dasgupta, journalist and trainer of fact checking, Google News Initiative India Training Network from Kolkata. He is not a journalist, he is a builder of belief and a defender of verifiable truth. Get ready to be inspired and equipped to cut through noise. Welcome you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome a visionary academician whose energy, sight, dedication have inspired countless learners, Dr. Devashish Mahandi, Assistant Professor, BJP Autonomous College. Bhubaneswar is known for transforming complex idea into powerful practical knowledge. Today, we are privileged to hear from a mind that blends clarity with depth and innovation. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Devashish Mahanti to enlighten us with his thoughts. Please welcome all our esteemed speakers with a massive round of applause. Thank you. Now, I request our chairperson, Professor Pradeep Malik sir, for his opening remarks. Please, sir, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lopamudra Das. Thank you for the generous words um, in introducing me and my co-panelists. Welcome again. Um, since you have asked me for the opening remark, and the theme for this session is ours, media forensics and synthetic media, the ginger effect. The term itself, this ginger effects, that itself is a little abstract in its nature, though it's gaining popularity in social sciences. And so let us see how we talk about this ginger effect. But before we talk about this ginger effect, I would just like this August gathering, a small one, though, to understand how this forensic media, synthetic media works, how this and how artificial intelligence gets there's an interface bit of all the three all the time. And then we'll expect all our experts, with the help of you, moderator, to articulate it themselves and articulate the ideas further. So first, to my co-panelists and the August gathering, I would like to just tell you how this um, AI works at the back of our mind. If we keep that at the back of our mind, it will become very easy for us to understand, why so much of misinformation, disinformation, and why this need for media forensics at all. You know, media, and the previous session we were talking about, it's all about credibility. If there is trust, there is credibility. If we trust, and in Indian context especially, when we trust somebody, when we trust some institution, when we trust anything, anybody, anything, generally in Indian tradition, it's a unquestioned trust. We just surrender ourselves to that. That's our Indian tradition. But the point is that with this technology, there are many factors which are coming into, and they are tinkering with that trust. And the tragedy is that the trust from that media particular media, if that goes away, the problem is not that that particular media house is untrustworthy. The problem is that it affects the entire media ecosystem. How does one say that in this media monolith, which it is not? Number one, it's segments of media. If segment A is not trustworthy, then how, even if segment B is very honest, objective, trustworthy, everything, but even B comes into question because A, which is part of that ecosystem, is untrustworthy and they are interacting with each other. So the large problem is that. But coming to that, how this AI works, I'll just like to draw your attention to that. Generally, it works with what is called GAN, GAN, that generative adversarial network, and there are two players in that generally GAN, generative adversarial network. As the word says, adversarial, so these two players are adversaries of each other. One is the generator and the other is the one who looks after it, who keeps a check on it. So when some prompt is given, somebody generates something, or the algorithm, that machine generates something, and the discriminator, the other player, looks at it and points out the mistake or the errors or the deficiency between what it should be generating and what it has generated, and points out, okay, look, let us say they have to create my face, and they say that and the face has been created. The discriminator will say, okay, look, you have put this nose like this, actually the nose should be like this, and then the generator will correct itself, and it goes on. So generator keeps generating and discriminator keeps pointing out the errors in that until the discriminator feels that now, yeah, this is close to the reality. So mouse and cat and mouse game, one chases the other. Problem is, when generator becomes too intelligent, the discriminator goes out of fashion, or the discriminator becomes too dominant and kills all the creativity of the generator. There comes the problem of our synthetic media. You know, if the generator is too smart, then what you have is synthetic media. Otherwise, the discriminator would have caught it and told him, look, you got to correct yourself. And then when you have the synthetic media and when it is creating problems in all sorts, political problems, social problems, economic problems, industrial problems, all sorts of problems. And when we are faced with the consequences of those problems, and as society, we would like to hold somebody, some institution responsible for that. Somebody has to be accountable for everything that is happening. And then we have to come to media forensics. Unfortunately, what was never needed in the society has become a reality. And today, reality to the extent that we can't do without it. We can't do without. So this is the problem that we are facing. Um, Essentially, forensics primarily deals with three traditional things. That is, checking the images, checking the texts, and in this room we have a couple of people who are involved in all these things. But most of the time, unfortunately, we are involved at the use of the technology that has been there, given to us by the techies. We are using Joydeep, sir, um, Rajiv Panda was here, Dr. Rajiv Panda. So all of us are part of that Google News initiative. We have been using these technologies to distinguish. Problem is that despite doing all this, you catch 10 fish, but then 90 fish get away. This is my assumption. Though we are very active, this Google News network, if you look at, even as we are talking, there must be one of our members who has just put in something, isn't it? It's so active. All of us are so active. The point is that most of this synthetic media is circulated through social media. And social media, by its nature, reduces the data or the piece of information in regular language. It reduces it to such an extent, it compresses it to such an extent that a lot of the digital footprint that information has gets lost, or actually it is eliminated, because they have to keep it lighter. They have, size wise, KB and MB that we talk about, they have to keep it size. Now, if those digital footprints, if they are eliminated, how do you check that? That becomes problem. And then ultimately what happens, and this is what we do when we do the training, Joydeep Da and I and Manojan Panda, in the beginning we say that, look, we don't have a magic wand that you run like this and you say that this is synthetic, this is organic. There is no magic wand like that. There is no one single filter, one no single sieve that you put your stuff on that and the original comes out. Ultimately, ultimately, and that is the crux of our presentation, that's the crux of our discussion since morning, you have to use your journalistic skills, you have to use your common sense, the human. So that brings us down to that, what has been talked about since morning. Use AI, use technology. Some people have used the term slave, some people have used the term as companion, some people, I would like to say that use it as a complementary supplement to your work that you are doing. Ultimately, you have to control that machine, you have to control that, the dialogue, the data dialogue, not the data should be dictating itself. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Let us hear from others, panelists.
Thank you so much, sir. It's so inspiring. And it also helps us to clear our doubts and understanding about the media, forensic media and synthetic media, how we use it, how we should be conscious. And as a journalist, what is our duty and responsibility towards that? Thank you so much, sir. Now I request to Professor Dr. Loki Sharma. Please, sir, address the gathering. Thank you, sir.
So, thank you, Dr. Dash, for the introduction, and I am extremely delighted to be the part of uh, this panel, which have the experts of the subject. Since morning, we have been talking about the AI deepfakes, AI generated content, this, that, but what is happening? If you ask any student when they leave this auditorium, and if you ask the student that now are you confident? Now, uh, is there any doubt, any confusion? I can guarantee you the 99% of the students will reply that I have some new doubts. So every discussion, every deliberation leads to some new doubts and new confusion. And that is the challenge of today's world, wherein this AI is very much in our lives. And uh, uh, only the solution is, but only the solution is again the continuous deliberations, discussions, and this thought-provoking sessions on such topics. So let me carry forward the from Professor Malik, who talked about the synthetic media and this media forensic and all. See, what is happening? This we are very much concerned about the technology, but this is not only about the technology. It is about the something beyond, because now this technology is intruding. It is going in a deeper side of the human lives. It is appealing the emotions of the humans. It is impacting our feelings, our thoughts, our paradigms, our notions, our values, our culture, and all. And that is why that is a major concern about this AI and this AI generated content and synthetic media. And uh, the solution, if we talk about the solution, one of the key solution is again and again, that is the media literacy, that is the awareness, that is the how can we demystify. We will have to demystify, because still this has been a mystery before the people, before the public who are using this, that how is it been generated, how has it been created. So we will have to demystify. Until or unless we do not demystify, that it would never be a solution, and we will not be able to move towards the solution to the next step. So we will have to make awareness among the masses about this all, and we will have to train the masses in the media literacy programs. And the media literacy, because nowadays we are also talking a lot about the media literacy, but now we will have to raise the level of the media literacy. It is not only about how this video works, how the video is edited and all. We will have to go beyond this all. So we will have to raise the level of the media literacy somewhere. And another aspect of this synthetic media is that if someone is using the synthetic media, if someone is uh, altering this voice cloning is there. If someone is altering the video, if someone is adding some sort of effects and all just to create a flavor, because this ginger effect, this ginger effect is very much relevant, because without ginger there is no flavor in the tea, kadak tea, and there is no flavor in this media without this synthetization. So we will have to think about the two aspects, which is one is the positive and another side is not the positive. So if obviously if it goes into the right hands, uh, we can do many things for the better lives of the people, for the betterment of the society. Uh, we can uh, we can do our this entertainment, we can make this entertainment more meaningful, more interesting with this synthetic media. We can use it into the medical services, educational services and all. But on the other side, if it goes into the wrong side, wrong hands, now we have so many examples of the political polarization. We have so many examples of character assassination. We have the examples of this defamation and all. So there are the fatal consequences of this synthetic media if it goes into the wrong hands, obviously. So we will have to be careful about it. Another very interesting aspect is the legal framework, laws, ethical issues, and what can we do in that direction. So see, there is a point in the legal framework. If there is the law for this all, but there is the limitation, because if legal consequences will be there and these legal actions will be there, there may be a point when it will create a fear among the masses to use the AI, and that will diminish the creativity of the people. That is a very, very important point to be taken care of. We will have to be considered that we will have to strike a balance between the creativity and this use of AI. So, and this legal framework, if your legal framework or the legal uh, possibilities and this uh, legal actions leads to a fear, then that is really, really very danger for the society, for this future of this technology and all. So we will have to handle it with care, and humanity should be the center point. So uh, whenever we are using this AI, we will have to think a lot about the humanity. So it is a new hope. It is as everyone in the previous sessions, even in the previous session, said that we have no any option. We will have to go uh, hand in hand by this with this AI. So we cannot avoid it. We cannot ignore it. Only the thing is that we will have to go along with this. We have to use it. We will have to use it smartly. We will have to make awareness. We will have to make the people more literate about it, so that it does not go into the wrong hands. Wrong hands means people are not doing intentionally. Actually, they are not aware of it, and that is why sometimes it uh, leads to the fatal consequences. So that is all my insights on this, and let us hope. So we have to come together, and we will have to go uh, together, and we will have to continue such deliberation, discussions, and forums. And I am once again, I am extremely happy to be part of this prestigious conference. I am very, very thankful to Dr. Padi for this invitation. And this is, as I always emphasize on this awareness. So this conference is also a part of this awareness program on the media literacy. So such programs should be continue, and hope for the best. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Sharma, for your detailed discussion about that synthetic media should not be in wrong hand. There should be a balance. We should aware about that. There must be an awareness, and sir should focus upon the digital literacy. We should have to be literate, and how we should foster our creativity, because in this world of AI, we should also for one example, to doing homework also, students depend upon AI. Whenever they should have given any project, they should take the help of AI, and it's not a good sign for our society and for our students. Thank you so much, sir. And we should also remember the effect of ginger in tree, and that is the main important point of our discussion. Thank you, sir. And now I should request Professor Joydeep Dasgupta, sir. And sir should work in the practical field, and we are interested to listen something. Thank you, sir.
Everyone, am I audible? Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Lopamudra Das, for the wonderful introduction. And I'm very happy to be here with the esteemed panelist. And thank you so much, Padi sir, for the invitation. And this is a very relevant discussion. And we are living in an age, we all know information is power. Information can, for any small decisions in our life, we need uh, information. For small things, big things, any kind of thing, we need information. Information brings in power within us. So let me start with a question to everyone, to my younger friends. कितने लोग सोशल मीडिया में हो आप लोग? Everyone? Yes, we all have our presence in internet. We have our presence in social media platforms. We know we need to be updated every time and again. So वर्ल्ड में बताया जाता है कि सबसे पॉपुलर फॉर्मेट इज रील्स विच इज अराउंड 21 सेकेंड्स या 23 सेकेंड्स. ऑन एन एवरेज रिसर्च बताती है कि 4 से 5 सेकंड का स्पैन होता है जब आप नॉलेज गेन करते हो. सो if we look at this generation, I'm not comparing. Our generation is more enriched. This generation, who are mobile generation, are more enriched than us. They can fast read, they can go so fast. आप देखते होंगे कि बच्चे जब ऑडियो सुनता है, यूट्यूब सुनते हैं, वो बहुत फास्ट कर देता है. जो हमारे समझ में नहीं आ सकता वो समझ सकता है. सो वी आर लिविंग इन एज ऑफ नॉट इन द डिजिटल एज. इवन वी हैव ऑलरेडी एंटर्ड इंटेलिजेंस एज बोलते हैं हम लोग इसको, इंटेलेक्चुअल एज. विद द एडवांट ऑफ विद द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ एआई, अगर बोले एआई को हम समझते हैं बेसिकली चैट जीपीटी, which is just a part of AI, which is generative AI, which was introduced in the year 2022 November by OpenAI. ChatGPT was introduced, but from 1954 जब पहली बार ये टर्म यूज हुआ था, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, तब से लेकर बहुत सारे रिसर्च हुआ. लेकिन आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस क्या है पेपर्स में पढ़े होंगे, लेकिन उसका प्रैक्टिकल रूप हम लोगों ने देखा चैट जीपीटी के रूप में. This is where confusion lies. We don't know artificial intelligence in entirety. I'm not claiming कि हम लोग सबको सब कुछ पता है, but we are at the level of ChatGPT. We need to upgrade ourselves. At the same time, AI literacy, media literacy के साथ अभी हम लोग बोलते हैं AI literacy, because we have already entered AI age. We cannot ignore AI anymore. It is already taking over our lives, so it is very crucial and very important that we should learn AI. What are the positive side of AI? सब कुछ का positive and negative effect होता है. Whenever technology came, there it comes with positive as well as negative effect. But at the same time, how you take leverage out of this beautiful technology. It can be a, जैसे कि हमारे previous session में डॉक्टर दास उन्होंने बताया कि it is an atom bomb, it can be a nuclear bomb. Yeah, artificial intelligence is power, और इस पावर को संभालने के लिए वो इंटेलिजेंस होना ज़रूरी है. दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. It is a nuclear energy, it is a power, it is a wonderful, I won't say wonderful weapon, but it is a very आप उसको किसी तरह से यूज़ कर सकते हो. You can use it for creating deep fakes, other, or else you can use it for creating डे टू डे न्यूज़ प्रोसेसिंग में बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ होता है. वी ऑल नो उड़ीसा became the first state to introduce the first AI anchor in the country, Lisa. So we have been experimenting with AI models, but all this AI anchor and all this model have failed, unfortunately. Unfortunately, failed इसलिए क्योंकि they could not bring in that emotion. Emotional part is somewhere or other missing. So it is very crucial and very important how we use over the years, over the period of time. Maybe we will be training this kind of models for more expert uses in our life. But at the same time, it is in the evolving phase. AI har din, it is evolving every new day. We are at the initial stage of all experiments. हमको पता है कि आज जो टूल रिलेवेंट है वो कल रिलेवेंट नहीं है, क्योंकि उसको रिप्लेस करते हुए नया कोई टूल आ गया, या फिर वट एवर टूल इज ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग have additional features we are not aware of. ChatGPT, which was introduced in November 22, was now the outdated model. Now we have already come upon the latest version. दो वर्जन हम लोगों ने चेंज कर चुका है. Google came up with Bird, but it didn't work, and they have now Gemini. That way, trials and errors, experiments are going on in every sphere. But it is for us, since we are journalists, we are communicator, we are media educator, we must know how to be with the technology, and we need to learn how best we can use technology. किसी को इग्नोर करके ज़्यादा दूर नहीं रह सकते. रेदर इंक्लूसिवनेस, अगर एआई को साथ ही लेके चलना है तो हाउ वी कैन इनकॉर्पोरेट एआई, दैट वी कैन थिंक ऑफ फॉर ब्यूटीफुल थिंग्स. लाइक जैसे कि हम लोग अभी भी डिस्कशन जब भी चलता है, अगर हम लोग बात करें डिजिटल फॉरेंसिक एंड सिंथेटिक मीडिया. डिजिटल फॉरेंसिक मीन्स क्रेडिबिलिटी, मोरलेस. अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं तो क्रेडिबिलिटी. फॉरेंसिक और सिंथेटिक मीडिया मीन्स आर्टिफिशियल और क्रिएटेड मीडिया. अभी अभी हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि बहुत सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स होते हैं. एक ट्रेंड शुरू होता है सोशल मीडिया में, हम लोग सब करने लगते हैं. जीबीली आर्ट, सब ने हम लोगों ने अपना अपना प्रोफाइल अपलोड करना शुरू कर दिया. दिस इज नॉट द वे हाउ वी यूज. वी मस्ट यूज एआई रिस्पॉन्सिबली. And being media professionals, media educators, it is our responsibility to ensure that whatever is being shared or whatever is being produced by us must be transparent. We must declare that. अगर बहुत सारे न्यूज़पेपर्स अभी लेटेस्ट हम लोगों ने देखा, पाकिस्तान का डॉन न्यूज़पेपर यूज करो, लेकिन इतना भी गलती मत करो कि कॉपी पेस्ट ही कर दो. It is always helpful. हाँ, अभी ChatGPT is not allowed, I think, in newspaper offices or media organizations. But in the coming days, it will be part of our day-to-day journalism practices. But where our human intervention is needed, वही ज़रूरी है जहाँ हम लोगों को देखना पड़ेगा, चेक करना पड़ेगा whether the headline is correct, whether the data that is being provided in the article is cross-checked, is from verified authority, verified sources, not conclusion ठीक से आया है कि नहीं, जो presentation है वो ठीक है कि नहीं. So AI is not going to replace humans, person or people who no AI can replace you. That is the thing basically. So we need to learn, we need to adopt. At the same time, we need to use AI or synthetic media, so to say, responsibly. That is very crucial and that is very important. जर्नलिज्म को सबसे ज़्यादा फोर्थ स्टेट का दर्जा दिया गया है. वी नो वी हैव दिस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, सोशल अकाउंटेबिलिटी. लोग जर्नलिस्ट को क्यों रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं, क्यों मानते हैं? इसलिए मानते हैं कि उनको लगता है कि उनसे थोड़ा ज़्यादा हम जानते हैं, इसलिए हमको पूछते हैं. So it is here our responsibility lies to see and ensure that whatever information is provided to the viewers, to the readers, must reach with all the filtration. लेकिन अभी जैसे कि मैंने शुरुआत में आप लोगों को पूछा, who every one of almost every one of us have our presence on social media. So social media is the biggest threat in case if we talk about misinformation and disinformation. Now, what is the difference between social media and conventional media? Social media means there is no gatekeeping. Everyone who has a profile is a publisher. He is an editor. He or she is an editor. But in newspaper organization, we have a series of responsibilities. Reporter collect the news from field and then he or she send the story to the office. वहाँ sub editor है, copy editor है, then it reaches editor in chief. After his approval, the news gets published. But in terms of social media, there is no gatekeeping. No one is responsible. Anyone who has social media profile is a publisher, is a editor. और यहीं कहीं ना कहीं एक confusion का दौर शुरू हो रहा है. And now with the advent of AI, you can produce beautiful content, confusing content as well, and misinformation, disinformation survives on that. हम लोग देखते हैं अभी ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के समय हम लोगों ने देखा जितना वार बैटल फील्ड में नहीं हुआ, उतना ज़्यादा सोशल मीडिया में हम लोगों ने जीत लिया. इस्लामाबाद हम लोगों ने कैप्चर कर लिया. वहाँ से वो लोग क्लेम कर रहे हैं कि दिल्ली बढ़ गए हम लोग. जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, जम्मू एयरपोर्ट हम लोगों ने दखल कर लिया. श्रीनगर में हम लोग कब्जा कर रहे हैं. द battles आर being fought on digital front. सो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लाइज कहाँ रहता है, किस तरह से एज ए इंडिविजुअल हाउ आई बिहेव ऑन सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म. ये सिर्फ मीडिया के लिए नहीं, हर आदमी के लिए ज़रूरी है. whoever uses a smartphone is carrying a very powerful weapon with us. So from this we can create wonderful thing, we can create wonderful movements. At the same time we can bring in destructions, we can spread misinformation and disinformation which can lead to any kind of mob lynching, riots, communal disturbances. बहुत सारी चीज़ होते हैं, knowingly unknowingly हम लोग करते रहते हैं. This is how the definition has been, this is how fake news has been defined as misinformation and disinformation. मैं लास्ट बेंच में जो स्टूडेंट्स बैठे हैं उनको पूछना चाहूँगा, आर यू अवेयर व्हाट इज मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन और डिसइन्फॉर्मेशन? एनीवन फ्रॉम लास्ट, एनीवन हु कैन साइट व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? प्लीज प्लीज प्लीज, व्हाट इज मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन एंड व्हाट इज डिसइन्फॉर्मेशन?
Is an information that is spread deliberately with the intention to cause harm.
Wonderful, good. Misinformation is without intention. When you spread wrong information, it is misinformation. Disinformation means when you share any kind of information intentionally. हमको पता है बहुत समय इंटेंशनली होता है. इलेक्शन के समय हम लोगों को सबसे ज़्यादा पता चलता है कि हाउ मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन. प्लीज सिट डाउन. सिमिलरली बहुत सारे चीज़ों में मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन डिसइन्फॉर्मेशन कम्स. दैट इज़ वेरी क्रूशियल एंड दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ये बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग अगर हमारे अंदर है तो what we can do is we can uh, stop any wrong information which comes to us in the form of misinformation, disinformation or malinformation. 3 MDM हम लोग बोलते हैं normally. तो what we can do is we can stop this if we are aware of this. So what can be done is more awareness. As Lokesh Sharma sir has time and again has in his during his talk he already stressed on how media literacy is very important, how awareness is very important. So awareness हम तो खुद करेंगे, हमारे practices में हम करेंगे, whether it be teaching. If I am a student, I can talk to people. If I am a reporter, I can present those facts through my reports. At the same time, if we can train people, if we can train people on misinformation, disinformation, that is what we are doing. Pradeep sir, me, Rajiv sir, we are a part of a network where we are reaching out to people with AI literacy trainings, basically how to adopt, how to perceive AI. How, since it is very important, क्योंकि पहले से अगर हम लोग किसी चीज को, किसी टेक्नोलॉजी को बुरा बुरा बोलना शुरू कर दे, वो ठीक नहीं है. पहले जान लो कि वो सही है गलत है, खुद से जानो, किसी के कहने से नहीं. दिस इज द फर्स्ट एंड सिग्निफिकेंट पार्ट. You have your own intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a collaborator, is a friend, it can be a helping hand, but we all have that original intelligence. We have that. So what we can do is we must use our own intelligence to create this kind of awareness. And we need to know, when you're dealing with information, मैं बार बार information इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि we all are here who are dealing, and we all are communicator, we are all associated with mass communication studies, students, practicing journalists. So we all deal with information. So whenever we are dealing with any kind of information, it is very crucial and very important to check and cross check before it gets published. From whether this information is from a verified source or not, we have to check it time and again, and only then we can adopt, we can accept that. ये बेसिक, क्योंकि अभी जर्नलिज्म बहुत इजी हो चुका है, बहुत जल्दी हम लोगों को व्हाट्सएप में ही इंफॉर्मेशंस मिल जाते हैं. इनफैक्ट पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज भी अपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस रिकॉर्ड करके भेज देते हैं, अपने काउंटर बाइट्स इंटरव्यूज दे देते हैं. तो देयर इज वेरी लेस स्कोप ऑफ आस्किंग क्वेश्चन. तो सवाल पूछना कहीं ना कहीं कम गया है. सो दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी बहुत गलती हो रहा है अगर हम लोग बोले तो. But at the same time, what we can do is we can time and again ask question. Whenever we receive any kind of information, we must ask the person from where you are getting the information. Don't randomly share any kind of information. When you come across एक मजा का इंफॉर्मेशन आया कि ये पॉलिटिशियन पप्पू है, वो पॉलिटिशियन वो है, बड़ा नेता है, तो इस तरह के इंफॉर्मेशन जब आएंगे, वी कीप ऑन शेयरिंग. वी थिंक दिस आर सटैरिकल कंटेंट, मजाक कंटेंट है, कोई हार्म नहीं कर रहे. बट दिस आर ऑल्सो ए पार्ट ऑफ, दिस आर ऑल्सो ए टाइप ऑफ misinformation and disinformation. We may be sharing any kind of harmless content, but over the period of time it can uh, create a notion among the people. So this is very important. So this is very crucial, how responsibly we deal with information. Whatever little information it may be, 5 Ws and 1 H, जिससे भी वो information बनता है, उसको हम लोग किस तरह से यूज़ करते हैं, किस तरह से आगे बढ़ाते हैं. So responsibility lies there. हम लोग कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करें, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस हो, सोशल मीडिया हो, इंटरनेट हो, we cannot ignore internet, we cannot ignore social media, the power of potential of social media and artificial intelligence. Rather than adopt, at the same time use them intelligently. That is very crucial, and that is intelligently as well as ethically. That is very crucial. When we are journalists, we must use any kind of technology ethically. So अभी अभी बहुत सारे मीडिया ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अगर हम लोग बात करें तो इंडिया में तो अभी there is no ethical guidelines for most of the news organizations. So when we are using AI tools, AI methodology, it is very crucial and very important. We must have ethical guidelines in place. So जो भी editors हैं, जो भी responsible positions में हैं, editorial positions में हैं, I will also appeal all of you to ensure that if you are using AI, then you must have a AI guideline in place. So world में research हो रहे हैं, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हो रहे हैं, तो बहुत आगे हम लोग बढ़ रहे हैं. India is also very seriously taking AI, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट AI literacy, AI AI mission, India AI mission शुरू किया है. Secondly, India is going to host the second global AI summit in the month of February 2026. Lot more of things. In fact, those who are doing your masters, if you want to opt for PhDs, you can always apply for PhD on AI. So AI is future, AI is going to stay, but at the same time it is for us to ensure that we are using AI responsibly. So this is all about my, बहुत ज़्यादा लंबा बोल दिया शायद, but you please consider, and thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. You are rightly said that AI is our future. We can't deny that, we can't avoid that, we can't ignore that, but we should accept that with a responsibility, as sir said. The difference of use of AI in social media and mass media. When we make any reel or sharing any information in social media, we have no responsibility. There is no validity. There is no verification. We just share it. But we should understand that how, because we all are responsible citizen and we should use it carefully for our society, and it may create any conflict in our society, as sir also gives so many examples on that. Thank you, sir. Just one thing I want to say, we also need Albert Einstein and we also need Gautam Buddha to enlighten the truth, to see inside and reflect ourselves in this AI world. Thank you. Now I welcome Dr. Devasis Mahanti. Please, sir, address the gathering. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Das. Respected chairperson of the session, Professor Malik. Good evening to everybody, my co-panelist. I am from a different background, odd man out. So I will take it from a different perspective. We are discussing about something which is actually shaping our world every day. And the buzzword AI is everywhere. That is artificial intelligence. But before going to what is artificial intelligence, we should ask a question, what is intelligence? Intelligence is something that give us power to think, to solve problem, to recognize people, analyze things. And in case of natural intelligence, it also gives emotion and conscience. And but human are now using this natural intelligence to give those thinking power to machine, and it is known as artificial intelligence. So it is the intelligence given to machine by man is called artificial intelligence. So remember that it's a tool and it has no conscience, no value, and no feelings. We have to remember that. Before going to development of artificial intelligence, I will tell that in this world, nature created many creatures. Nature created many creatures and give different power to them to survive in this earth. Some are very powerful, some have wings, some can swim, some have jaws, but does not give such physical power to human being, but given a special thing that is called intelligence. That makes human the most dominant species in this world. And from the Stone Age, he is using that intelligence to survive in the world. In the Stone Age, he has prepared stone weapons to protect itself and collect food. In the first phase of development, human developed machines to reduce his physical work. Like we are now surrounded by all things. This microphone is a machine, our pen is a machine, fan, all are reducing our physical pains. And in the 20th century, human developed machine to reduce this mental power, that is computers and calculators. And in 21st century, the journey which was started in Stone Age now entering a new dimension that is called artificial intelligence. We are trying to giving human intelligence to machines. So thinking power to machines. So the intelligence of life is natural intelligence, and the intelligence of machine is artificial intelligence. So that is a contrasting thing. On this contrasting thing, I start my presentation on myth to machine, the journey of artificial intelligence. So though artificial intelligence looks was a modern concept, but if we search our ancient text, we also find stories about smart machines and smart vehicles. All we heard about Pushpak Viman of Ravan, which is a flying machine which can move with voice command and also thoughts. It is like a AI-driven vehicle of today. In Mahabharata, in TV, we all have watched war between Karna and Arjun. Both have weapons which are directed through voice commands like mantras, and they are precise to their target. Those are like the voice command softwares now we are using Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, that those things. So though those thing cannot be exactly compared with our today's artificial intelligence, but we can tell that from ancient time, human has that fascination of creating machines, intelligent beings, and intelligent machines. So the journey of AI actually started in 1950 with Allel Turning asking a question to himself, can machine think? And he published a paper which actually changed the world. On basis of that paper, a new concept is developed, and in 1956, in a conference, first time this word, artificial intelligence word adopted. In the journey of timeline, in 1970, the first program was written. As mentioned by my previous speakers, in 1997, the Deep Blue, the supercomputer created by IBM, defeated the then chess world champion Kasparov. So this is the journey. As uh, some speaker in the previous session mentioned, the AI actually not new things. In after 2020, actually its applications are vast. It is in many fields, and it has also very positive application in medical care. It will going to transform our world in next decades because it will detect the disease which is very difficult to detect by doctors, and the nano robots will go inside the body and they will do operation precisely. What we are hearing only most of the negative things about AI, and especially in this media conference. I can tell about that. Any new things when come, it has always some doubts. Because as a chemistry student and teacher, I know the building block of this universe is atom. When atom breaks, fast negative electrons are come out. And so any new things always give negativity because there is some apprehension. Even in our ancient, when there is Samudra Manthan, first the poison, Bisha was come out, then Amrut was come in last. So the positive things of AI will be definitely come, and it will definitely going to change our world. It will not, it has also negative effect, but we have to remember that it is a tool, it is a machine, like a fan, like a computer. It is not going to dominate the human being. And in the future stage, what we are seeing in the fiction stories, those type of AI are far ahead. When a robot can do all the things. Now the AI are only single functional. They can do only one function effectively by collecting data. No AI can a multifunctional AI. So, therefore, it is not to be panic. It's like a tool. I have already mentioned. My previous speaker also mentioned. It's like atom bomb. I simply give an example of knife. Knife is in our hand. We can use it for cooking or killing. Like that, AI is in our hand. We can use it for the development of the society or against the society. So it is only a program. It is only a thing. So it cannot, it has negative impact, basically in the media, because we are, as mentioned by my previous speaker, the reels are viral. And which reels are getting viral? The bad content reels are actually getting more viral than good content reels. uh, because the society accept those things fast easily. So it is a phase. It will be definitely pass away. We will get the benefit of AI in future. And in media perspective, it has a great prospect in media line, though it has also negative impact like misinformation creation, deep fake, etc. Those are discussed by previous speakers, so I will not concentrate on that because they are more experienced and than me in the media field. I will only let you know about the artificial intelligence, its uses, and how it will going to change the world in next decade. And if we take it positively, it will be definitely build a better society, give us easier life, healthier life. Or if it will be in the wrong hand, because the world is full of billions, and it will also has negative impact, and it will create havoc in the society. So it's a tool, we have to use it very wisely, and the future trend of AI will be in the hand of human itself. How it guide the AI, it will determine. Huh? And one thing want to mention here, that many times questions arises as a teacher, that after coming of this AI, the role of teacher is diminished. I always told no. The a teacher's role is totally different from role of this software AI or Google, because these are only information providers. They will only give information. First, teacher is a inspire. He inspire the students. He will inculcate the values, the what is good, what is bad inside the students. As I mentioned, I have given a knife, and it has both. It can kill, it can cook. But teacher will tell the student that it has the positive impact. So it will change the society. Therefore, nobody, no technology can replace a teacher from his position. These are additional benefits. Those teachers will adopt, acquire AI. They will definitely a better teacher and reaches to the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta more better than those are away from it. And another thing I want to mention here, that uh, AI has AI has various applications, so we have to use it with caution, and with caution we can take our world to a developmental level. Or if it will be in the wrong hand, or we will use it wrongly, then definitely we are going to be suffer. Thank you very much for providing me the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for your brilliant, inspiring speech. AI can't replace the teacher. We truly agree on that. Because there is no emotional contact of students. There is no eye contact with the teacher if a machine take the class. So a teacher is a teacher and AI is AI. Let the machine can't control the human being. We human being create and invent the machine. Let us to control that. And it's as sir said that it's our responsibility how we use that, and we should understand its benefits and take it in a better way and make a world better. Thank you all. And now it's a question answer session. Okay, sir. Thank you. Please ask a
Before we
question.
begin this question answer session, Dr. Dash, with your permission, you are the moderator.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to add to something what all of them have said. Uh, all of us, we know the benefits of AI, and we also are scared of the dark side of AI. Many years ago, I was young. I was very young in the newsroom. And that's the time when, remember, I began my career when reporters used to write their report in hand, sometimes typewriter also. I began that early. And then came computer. And I used to work for Times of India. And Times of India, I was the youngest in the Times of India, the cub reporter. So they tried to introduce computers. Idea was that production process will become faster. More than that, that is what we were told. Their idea was that they can reduce human resources and machination can be introduced. So, but the Times of India had very strong union those days. You know, today you don't hear of unions, but very strong union, and the union would not allow computerization because people will lose job. So management very intelligently said that, okay, fine, if you don't want to use computer, don't use it. We are not going to force it. Keep doing the way you do. Keep punching your story on your typewriter, and somebody will keep editing manually, somebody will keep composing, etc. It's the old process. But very intelligently, they kept one computer in the huge newsroom. And as you know, the newsroom is an open house. It's like a cow shed. Ours was an air-conditioned cow shed. Being Times of India, we were well paid and well looked after. They kept one computer there. Jisko karna hai karo. We are not asking you to do. And look at my chief reporter, who was my father's age, more than my father's age at that point of time. He said, look, boy, 3 or 4 of us, We are opposing computerization because it is threatening our existence. But you don't oppose computer. In the union, Jindabad, Murdabad kar lena aur aakar yahan computer tuck, 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 tuck karna, keep punching in because that is your future. You know, so all of us here, more or less, at least this row and the front row belongs to that generation which is feeling threatened by the AI. And that's why we are looking more at the negative sides of AI than the positives that it has to offer. You know, so this is one. And it is exactly like this because if you remember early 20th century when industrialization was peaking, Luddite, Luddites, they used to go around and break the machines because they said that it is taking away our jobs. Exactly that is what we are trying to do with AI these days. All of us are just looking at the negatives apart from the positives. But point is that when we are using it, then as everybody has pointed out since morning, it has to be under human supervision, right? And that's what Joydeep and Professor Panda and I, when we were training ourselves to train others on the sensible, ethical, and productive use of AI. Remember, among the first things that we did was to prepare a guideline for ourselves, prepare a guideline for our organization. It was an exercise, but that exercise was to sensitize the trainers that look, there has to be a guideline how AI has to be used in an organization, be it a newsroom, be it a studio, be it wherever you are. This is what I wanted to bring out. Thank you. Thank you.
I just want to add here because you triggered a very interesting point. Uh, since in case of AI, it is not only about losing the jobs actually. It is not only about creating the unemployment. It is going something beyond actually. That is why it is a very major concern for the society, for the contemporary generation and all. It is going towards the crime. It is going towards the cyber crime, cyber bullying, reputation, character assassination. This all is happening, and that is why we are very much concerned about this. Uh, you may call it the negative side, or the threats, or the challenges, or the issues of this AI side. That is the point that I want to add here. Yeah.
One word to this, absolutely, taking your point, Dr. Sharma. Just one thing. Let us try to recall when was this not happening? Was this character assassination, sensationalism, etc., not happening when computer was not there, when AI was not there? It was happening. The problem is the pace, the pace at which it is happening, the frenetic pace, that is scary. But otherwise, all these things were happening, and we had ways of taking care of all that.
And that is why today we are talking about media forensic. Yeah.
One thing that we have to accept change. Darwin's theory, there is a theory that on survival of the fittest. The strongest animal cannot survive in this world like dinosaur. The one who adapt to the situation, he will survive. So jobs will not going, but we have to adapt. I will give one example of Nokia. All of you know that Nokia, when smartphone launched in India, it has the 80% market share. But when people are adopted with phones, they have 2 to 3 SIM cards. But Nokia denied to give dual SIM mobile, and then it does not adopt the operating system we are using now. Therefore, it vanished from the market, and other company dominates. Therefore, we have to take changes as it is, and we have to adopt to the situation. We cannot halt progression of AI. We have to live with AI. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
In-
So please
Well,
ask question to our speaker.
yeah. In order to stay relevant, you must adopt. This is the last mantra. अगर बचना है तो adopt करो, सीखो और फिर and then use it for beautiful purposes,
Yes.
positive purposes.
First, Hello. First of all, I wanted to thank you a lot for all this input. First of all, I wanted to thank you because it was so interesting input that I received today. And yes, I had the opportunity to go to this China high tech fair. I've yeah, I've arrived just like 2 days, and I think AI is not like an option; it's like a must. You know, it's an obligation for all of us. Um,
Sir, please ask your question, sir.
social media is 2025. Is that a simple question? Should I open a social media to advance in my career, in my PhD? Do you consider that social media is as important as AI?
This question basically gradually over the period of time, if you see, the craze for social media too is decreasing. Now, if you ask any youth, they are more comfortable with Instagram. They are not in Facebook. Our generation are in Facebook. Hey. This way, over the period of time, according to research, people will also go away from social media. Some new technology, something new like social media will come up, which will be more convenient, more comfortable. It is all about convenience and how human beings had adopted technology for ease, for comfort, and they look for new options. Day after tomorrow, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, this all will be vanish away. This all will be gone. Something new will be created, and you have to adopt that.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions?
I want to, I have a question for Professor Pradeep Malik, sir. Sir, I want to know what is ginger effect and synthetic media.
Uh, I began with explaining what synthetic media is. Ginger effect, as I said, it's a still developing concept in social sciences. There is some concept of ginger effect in biological sciences, life sciences. Ginger effect in this context, the context in which we are sitting here is, as Professor Lokesh Sharma just gave a reference to, adding spice to life. Okay, just as ginger adds spice to tea. That is one ginger effect. The second ginger effect, if you want to look at, is, have you seen the shape of ginger? You know, one shoot comes out, and from that shoot comes out five other shoots, and from that five other shoots comes out five others. So there are now five fives are 25 plus 5, 30 plus 1, 31 shoots now. So one action that you do has multiple repercussions, ripples. That is what we mean by ginger effect in this context. Okay, I hope I have answered your question. First, second, you said synthetic media. Media, if I take a snap of you with, it could be a digital phone, I mean digital camera also, it's a real picture that I have created, but I'm using a machine, you are not nowhere around, and I'm using a machine and asking it to create, can I get your name please?
My name is Jyotsna.
Jyotsna. Joyka. So create an image of Joyka. So if I have more information on you, it will, I can give Joyka who studies at some place, and she's looks like 18-year-old, etc., etc., and it will give you. Otherwise, it will ask me, I have found 10 joy cars on the net. Which one do you want? Now you are in contact. In short, he hasn't seen you, the machine. I'm humanizing machine. The machine hasn't seen you, but machine is creating a picture of yours. That is what we are calling the synthetic media. And how does it create? As I said, through generative adversarial network. One creates and the other tells that, look, you have created, but this person looks like 35-year-old. So the generative again reduces the age. And then the critic again says that, okay, fine, looks like all right, but probably the nose or the ear is something like this. Then again, so ultimately it comes out with a final product. That final product is a trade-off between the generative and the discriminator, you know. So whoever is smarter has the last word, and that is the problem. That's what I said in my introduction here. If generator becomes too smart, it is something like chela and guru, you know. The chela becomes too smart, the guru is unable to evaluate, you know. And if guru becomes too strict, the chela will always score 0 because he never gets passing mark, you know. So there is a trade-off. This is how synthetic media or synthetic text, synthetic images, they come out. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. What's your question? Please tell your name and ask the question.
Hello everyone, I'm Sangeeta Agarwal. This is a very interesting, like the media forensics and synthetic media itself is a very interesting topic. My question is, like, we all know that we have to adapt to AI and to the changes around us. But like we have seen countries like Finland and Sweden, they're going back to away from smart classes because it has been creating havoc in the children or the students. So, do you think AI at some point of time we will realize that it is creating more havoc than helping us? And if so, like, can it be controlled or if not? So, why such countries have taken such steps? Because I think so, to take such steps is a big decision after realizing some aspects. So,
Can I take this question? Um, in my university, I have a student in master's and he has to write a dissertation. So he was worried about, he wanted to do something on AI. So we discussed a lot and I said that there is a notion that, as I said, and everybody has said that AI affects us. What he was saying, the small issue is that information people are not using and all. The larger issue is one is the privacy, the evil that it spreads. And one still larger issue is, and we are experimenting with that, is it affecting our cognitive ability? Researchers have been done, very few, but they have been done. Is it affecting our cognitive ability? So I asked that students that think of something, and we prepared a classical experimental design, the way it happens in psychology and all those places. So what we did is, and I'm sharing this, it is yet to be published. 2nd of December, the thesis will be published. But I can share the outcome from this. We gave Sudokus to 70 students, 70 each, so 140 students. Sudoku level 1, and ask them to answer that. They were free to use AI and manually. Sudoku level 2, Sudoku level 3, and at the end of it, we tried to assess, and we found that those who had done manually Sudoku number 1 and 2 could do Sudoku number 3, which had greater degree of difficulty. Those who had used machine, artificial, because they were free to use, the experimental group, those who had used Sudoku 1 and 2 with the help of AI could not do Sudoku number 3. And when we asked the question, they also said that we found it incomprehensible. Though they had already been exposed to Sudoku 1 and 2, but they had solved it through AI. And this happened over a period of just about 45 days, 3 levels, 70 students each, classical experimental design. So this is what I hope I've been able to explain to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, all our audience. So it's a time to show our token of gratitude to our guests. So I request for felicitation ceremony, and now I request Professor Upendra Padi, please come to the stage and felicitate our guests. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. As we conclude this esteemed plenary session, it is my privilege and formal duty to extend the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. First and foremost, I express our profound gratitude to our distinguished speakers for their scholarly insights, thoughtful analysis, and intellectually stimulates presentation. Your contribution significantly enriched the academic value. Thank you, sir. I also extend sincere thanks to our respected dignitaries, invited guests, and senior academicians gracing the session with their presence. Your encouragement and engagement add immense strength to our academic endeavor. My appreciation goes to organizing team, faculty coordinator, technical staff, and student volunteers whose meticulous planning and tireless effort ensured the smooth conduct of this session. Finally, I thank the audience, your faculty members, researchers, students, your active participation, attentive presence, and your academic curiosity and constructive engagement. Thank you, sir. With this gratitude, I formally bring the plenary session be closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Lopamudra ma'am, for the moderation. We had a wonderful session, a plenary session too, which was adorned by the distinguished guests and the speakers and those who were in the audience. We really learned a lot from them. Thank you, everyone. Now, for the next, within the next 5 to 10 minutes, we are going to start our memorial lecture on Professor Sunil Kanta Behra. Behra sir is no more on this earth, and he had a huge contribution to this conclave since its inception. And this session of his memorial lecture will be taken up by Professor Dr. Fakir Mohan Nayak, and I request him to be on the dais to start the session. Fakir sir.
नमस्कार, जय जगन्नाथ। नशा सभा यत्र नशन्ति वृद्धा नते वृद्धा जो न वदन्ति धर्मम नशा धर्म यत्र न सत्यमस्ति न तत्सत्यम यत् क्षणेनानुविद्धम। वो सभा सभा नहीं है जिसमें वृद्ध ना हो, वो वृद्ध वृद्ध नहीं है जो धर्म की बात ना करे, वो धर्म धर्म नहीं है जो सत्य ना हो, वो सत्य सत्य नहीं अगर उसके ऊपर किसी षड्यंत्र की चादर उड़ा गया हो। Being the student of journalism and mass communication, being a teacher of journalism and mass communication, being a journalist for almost 2 decades, I feel that the entire journey of journalism revolves around the truth, Satya. Without truth, there is no existence of journalism. And today, we are here to pay our tribute to our teacher, to our mentor, to our guide, Professor Sunil Kanta Behra. This is the third memorial lecture dedicated to late Professor Sunil Kant Behra, a distinguished academician, an inspiring teacher, and a compassionate human being whose contributions continue to shape minds and institutions. Professor Behra's legacy lies not only in his scholarship but also in his unwavering commitment to truth, ethical inquiry, and social responsibility. This annual memorial lecture is a humble tribute to his enduring intellectual spirit. It brings together scholars, students, and thought leaders to engage with ideas that challenge us, inform us, and enrich our collective understanding of society. As we gather today, we remember Professor Behra with deep respect, gratitude, and we celebrate his lifelong dedication to education, critical thinking, and public discourse. Paropkarartham bahanti nadyah, paropkarartham dughanti gavah, paropkarartham phalanti vrikshah, paropkarartham idam shariram. Professor Sunil Kant Behra has dedicated his entire life for the welfare of the students, for the welfare of the society, and for the cause of education, for the cause of journalism. And even after his death, he contributed, he donated his body for the welfare of the medical education or for the benefit of the medical students. We can call him as the modern day Dadhichi, just like Maharshi Dadhichi, who donated his blood, sweat, and bones to make the Vajra for Indra to fight against the demons. In his memory, when I am here, I remember him as a student, as a disciple, as a son. I can say that he was my teacher. I am privileged to have him in my life as a student, as a mentor, as a guide, and as a friend. So today, in his remembrance, we are here to have the third memorial lecture, and today's theme is Genesis of Fake News, a sociological perspective. For this, the, the right person who has given his life, who has contributed, dedicated his entire life for the cause of journalism, he is none other than Professor Vijay Lakshmikant Dharudkar, sir. Please give a big hand for sir and welcome sir, who is the Director of Research and Development, Indian Institute of Knowledge, Pune, Emeritus Professor of Mass Communication, and he was the former Vice Chancellor of Tripura University. We are truly privileged to have Professor Dharudkar, a renowned academician and one of the India's most respected scholars in media studies, communication, and social sciences. Professor Dharudkar has served in multiple leadership roles and has been widely recognized for his contributions to media education, research, and public engagement. His insightful work on media ethics, communication theory, and contemporary socio-political issues has made him a prominent voice in national academic circles. With decades of teaching and research experience, Professor Dharudkar brings a rare blend of scholarly depth and practical wisdom. I consider Professor Dharudkar as a living encyclopedia because whenever I have heard him, he speaks like an encyclopedia where you will find everything from culture to communication, from science to communication, and from literature to communication. You will find everything in his speech. So it is my privilege to welcome you on the dais. Sir, please come on this dais. Please give a big hand for Professor Vijay Lakshmikant Dharudkar, sir. I will introduce the topic. Thank you, sir. Let's talk about the theme of today's memorial lecture, Genesis of Fake News, a sociological perspective. I started my introduction with a shloka where I talked about truth. Without truth, there is no journalism. You can hide truth, not forever. सत्येन धार्यते पृथ्वी सत्येन तपते रविः सत्येन वाति वायुश्च सर्वम सत्य प्रतिष्ठितम. सत्य के जरिए इस पृथ्वी खड़ा है, सत्य के कारण ही रोज सूरज उगते हैं और अस्त जाते हैं, सत्य के कारण ही वायु बहती है और सत्य के कारण ही हम सब यहाँ पर है. So when we talk about fake news, there is a question on Satya, there is a question on truth. The theme of this year's lecture, Genesis of Fake News, a sociological perspective, is both timely and urgent. In an age where information travels at lightning speed, fake news has emerged as one of the most pressing challenges facing modern societies. Beyond its technological dimensions lies a deeper sociological reality, how communities interpret information, how beliefs are shaped, how anxieties spread, and how social structures influence the acceptance or rejection of truth. When we started the discussion, there came fake news. News is a polished product. As a journalist, what I have practiced for 2 decades, that when any information comes to you, that is not news unless until it is processed, unless until it is verified, cross verified, checked and cross checked, and when it is certified that yes, whatever information we have received, that is true, that is correct, then only it becomes a news and disseminated to the masses. So when the concept of fake news came, my point is either it is news or it is fake. It can't be fake news. News can't be fake because news is a polished product, a processed product. News is not mere information. So I invite you, sir, Professor B.L. Dharudkar, sir, to shed your light and deliver the memorial lecture on today's theme. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Professor K.V. Nagraj, Dr. Upendra Padhi, Professor B.K. Ravi, learned members of National Media Conclave, I am very much thankful and obliged for being invited to deliver third memorial lecture of Sunil Behra. Myself and Sunil Behra, we met for the first time in 1985 in Osmania University for a 5-day UGC program. Later on, we completed a 3 weeks refresher course in Osmania University. Then we used to sit together, discuss, eat together, and also debate on many issues. And in those days, Professor Abdul Rahim was coordinator of the program. So that kind of intimacy was there. When we had invited him to deliver certain lectures, and also he was a NAC peer team member and used to visit many institutions. So standalone Journalism College of MGM University was under process of NAC accreditation, and along with Professor Ram Mohan Pathak, there was Sunil Kant Behra. And that was my last meet. Professor Behra was also working in Behrampur University and Silchar Central University. So his contribution in the field of research was very unique because he was very logical, critical, and also used to edit material very accurately. Now, coming to the subject, the genesis of fake news, a sociological perspective. I am going to divide this whole lecture into 5 categories, 5 parts. The first would be what is the news and what is the Western perspective and Indian perspective of news. What is the historical dynamics behind the fake news? Professor Naik has nicely introduced, and also as a curtain raiser, he has given a very sound introduction of the subject. When I was sitting there, I was in deep thinking. What is the news? In Sanskrit, it is said, Varta nu kautukavati. News should be appreciable. Then also there is a norm that bad news should not be spread. How ethical were our Indians? Na moolam likhyanti yadyapi. If there is no root, if there is no evidence, don't write. That is a basic principle common in research and common in news. You know, when I joined in 1980 as a journalism teacher, 1979 in Kolhapur, Shivaji University, I was selected by 3 professors, Professor B.S. Thakur, Professor Ellen Gokhale, and Professor K. Yipan. They were very critical. Some 40 minutes interview was going on. After my selection and after my joining, I met Professor Gokhale, who wrote a book on India and Japan, educational television, a very nice book. I met Professor Gokhale. Sir, now I'm joining as lecturer. You have selected me. He said that don't quote any book without reading the book. And journalism is a virgin subject. You were an archaeologist earlier. You have worked in Archaeological Survey of India. You worked under S.R. Rao. And that is, you are a researcher. He not only advised me, he gave me a key of the library. He said, how many days you are here? Be here for 2-3 days. I had one casual leave plus Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. He invited one lady, Malegaonkar. He is Mr. So and so. He has come to use our library. Though 2 days there are vacations, but come at 10 o'clock. He will come at 10 o'clock, sit up to 5:30. He will read some books, take notes. Please help him. That started my career in journalism. Now people call me as an encyclopedia, but that solid foundation was with Professor Gokhale, who was a worm in journalism, who was also president of All India Journalism Teacher Association in Banaras. And Professor Gokhale advised me to read some basic books. I read John Hohenberg's Professional Journalism. At the time, there was some 5th or 6th edition. Now it is 8th edition. He was in Columbia University professor. And then I read a book, Basic News by Melvin Mencher. In this book, Melvin Mencher defined news as news is such an important phenomena which is a record of events occurred in the periphery of the media center. And the reporter documents the news based on perfect evidences. Again, the word news derived from north, east, west, south, 3 directions. The information that comes from all the 10 directions. In India, we call it as Dasha Disha. An elephant is a god, or Ganesha is a god which protects us from all 10 directions. So, this is a kind of the base of news. The Western perspective of news says bad news is the good news. जितना डेथ टोल बढ़ेगा अर्थक्वेक में उतना बड़ा न्यूज. In the morning I heard that there was a earthquake in Pakistan of 5.5 nature. But death toll was not there. Richter scale was 5.5. Every day unending wars are going on in the Gaza Strip and also between Ukraine and Russia. I am also an international column writer, right from 1973, not after retirement. I wrote columns in eminent newspaper of Acharya Atre, Maratha, Bal Thakre, Samna. Even I writes in Maharashtra Times. English newspaper, The Perfect Voice. Yesterday only one article came. The Arsenia of Democracy, India and Israel. What I am quoting you that Walter Lippmann, who was a great Democrat, was also a journalist. Lippmann has written on journalism, and Walter Lippmann says, searching the truth is the basic responsibility of journalists. And Lippmann reports that a reporter has to search, dig out, explore the truth up to the deadline. He should not cross the deadline. Deadline is the most sacred rule in the newspaper office. Walter Lippmann says, what is the social responsibility of the reporter? To understand the phenomena of news perfectly and prior to the publication. Many a times in yellow journalism, people say that yesterday's information was based on wrong sources, so we apologize for that. But that is not a healthy journalism. And of same John Hohenberg, who was I'm quoting from Columbia University, he has written, what is the news? To catch the rainbow of human interest, that is the news. Unfortunately, in the horde of fake news, in the competition of fake news, we have lost the human interest news. We have lost the human angle of the news. One of my Bhaskar bureau chief is with me here, is my student. Daily Bhaskar, Shekhar knows better. There's every week on Tuesday, there is a column, Shubha Varta, exactly opposite of the fake news. Because when you are hitting the bad news, then there is your responsibility to publish the good news also. But unfortunately, everywhere, open the newspaper, you will find series of bad news there. Crime page, first front page, last page, sports page, every page. When I wrote a book on news reporting in Marathi language, the title was a little bit Sanskritized, Vritta Lekhan Swarup Ani Siddhi. First line was there. Newspaper has become an essential commodity and information is a basic human need. One of my friend was a professor of political science. I gave him a book, a gift copy. He read the first line and said, I object, kept the book aside. Say, I don't read newspaper. Nothing is happened to me. So newspaper is an essential commodity. I had written that. There are also some people in the society, due to the more appearance of fake news, they don't read in newspaper in the morning. They read newspaper prior to they go to bed because they say it is good for sleep. And some people say if you read a bad news in the early morning, that threatens your health. Psychologically, you are disturbed. And bad now news creates, fake news creates social imbalance. In the world, there are 5 books on fake news. And only, mostly all cited, effectively cited book is Anatomy of Fake News by Nelson Houghton. This book is 250 pages volume, enters numerous aspects, explores many ideas, explores on the weaknesses, vacuums, and puts a strong arguments on that. When I was in the beginning journalism, I was the only teacher. That's what a basic thing, because that was a benefit to me. I used to teach many papers. Today I can challenge. I told in the morning some girl asked me a question about what is the fake news and yellow news and that. I told her all books names and all those things. So I used to challenge my students in the class. You ask me any question on any topic of journalism, print, electronic, public relations, mass communication theory, anything. People used to get astonished in Mumbai and Pune. How this man says. And when they used to ask some questions on that, I used to give them bundle of answers. Then they used to behave very happy. So likewise, there is a very nice book, How to Report and Write News, by Roland Woolsey and Lawrence Campbell. This book has covered some 40-50 areas of reporting. And in this book, there is an article on anatomy of the news. What is the anatomy of news? I can teach journalism in the medical concepts. Metamorphosis of fake news. And the book wrote, headline, is the head, face. Then intro is just like the neck. And your chest and other part is the body of the news. Authority, after head, there comes a dateline, name of the place, Bhubaneswar. Then there comes in the bracket authority by our team of reporters, PTI, UNI, this, that agency, that. So that is the identity, authority of the news. Then intro or lead. Then there is a nice bridge para. Our reporter so and so visited so and so, pointed that, and he interviewed some people, they said that so and so. Chota chota paragraph hota hai. And that author wrote, a news contains very short, small and effective newspaper paragraphs, easy to add and easy to delete. समाचार में ऐसे छोटे छोटे परिच्छेद होते हैं जिनको हम जोड़ भी सकते हैं, तोड़ भी सकते हैं, तोड़ मरोड़ सकते हैं. But unfortunately, in the news, there is a Darwin's theory. You'll wonder what is that? That is the tail of the news. मनुष्य का तो कहीं टेल नहीं होता है, लेकिन किसी जमाने में था. उसको वो ऑथर कहता है, टेल ऑफ द न्यूज is the reporter's style of reporting. Sometimes he does the technique of kite flying. Kite flying means he makes certain imaginations, certain comments, and hooks the kite or rides the kite, or speedily provides the rope to it. And it is said kite flying is not worthy reporting. Or slanting news. What is a slant? A news which is having certain bias, that is known as a slant of the news. And I am now going closer to the subject. Slanting of the news, or playing with the news content and its truth, there emerges a fake news. History says in the Roman Empire, during the period of Julius Caesar, there used to be fake news. In India also, during Ramayana and Mahabharata, there was a fake news. When Pandavas were planned to kill and the whole house was burned, but still they saved because they were able to understand that fake news. Entire Gita describes a news. Even our Dnyaneshwar, whose Dnyaneshwari was translated by father of our Upendra Padi sir, he told me once. In Uriya, Dnyaneshwari was translated by Padi's father, Padi's daddy. So Dnyaneshwar writes, if you play a rope as a serpent, and huge people are going on there is a rush, people will be threatened like that. Then he said that cheetah robe is not a news. That is not a serpent. But that is a kind of a news, kuvarta, bad news, which can spoil the majesty of the news. He has used Rupaka, parable, and explained what is that fake news there. Again, in Mahabharata also, we will find many instances of fake news are available. But a great Indian exponent of secret information services was Kautilya or R.A. Chanakya, who was a professor of political science in Takshashila University. He wrote Artha Shastra and described Artha Mulo Dhanakamaha. Just money, the essence of every work. The fake news has also connection with Artha. You will say how? There's a story goes traditionally. Once Kautilya was in a prime minister office. There was a small hut. He used to go out of the palace and sit in a hut, studying something, writing something. In those days, there was no electricity. He used to chant just a panti or a small lamp. 2, 3 foreigners came to meet the Prime Minister of India. They met King and he said that every other information our Prime Minister will give to you, meet him. They wanted certain permission and he was very critical about giving permission to foreigners. So those people went and met him. Then he just shut down the private lamp with his air and then chanted the other lad. What you have done this? उसने ये बोला कि अब तक मैं जो पढ़ रहा था वो मेरा दिया था और मेरा काम था, अभी जो लगाया है ये सरकारी दिया है. You can understand what is the ethics in the news. A scholar like Kautilya believed that you have to earn the energy for your personal work, your own energy, and for the government work, only for the government energy. Kautilya has given a very, very important anatomy of fake news. And Kautilya was founder of world's best espionage system, secret information system. I quote, there is one of my article in a book, in a felicitation volume, Kautilya's Arthashastra and Management Principles. The how to understand a fake news and how to use a fake news against the enemy. That has been also described by Kautilya. So the genesis of fake news has many dimensions: political, economic, social, cultural, and many, many. Fake news has been described with many words: hoax news, alternative news, wrong news, and it has been defined by that widely cited author Nelson Hoxton as fake news means information disorder. Now, here there is a certain, along with sociology, there is a psychological dimension also. In psychology, they say double disorder. If a person is, suppose, thinks in two ways, he has a dual disorder personality. Likewise, information disorder. You are using the information not in orderly manner, but in a disorder manner. That becomes the crux of the fake news. Now, the first part of the background is over. The first fake news appeared in the year 1894 in America. Now, what is the relationship between the fake news and yellow journalism, and how the fake news emerged in the truth era? Very interesting. William Randolph Hearst was a journalist prior to Pulitzer, and he was running a paper, San Francisco Review, and many other papers he was connected. His father was a great miner, mining industry. Likewise, many mining giants have entered in newspapers in India also. I will not name them. They were doing mining in Rajasthan. Even today, some miners in Maharashtra also have their. So, what William Randolph Hearst said, it's very, a quotation is very important. That I am not derived from my own. That is a book, Mott. In this hall, Professor Nagaraj knows, because he is basically a scholar of history, and his teacher, Nadinga Krishnamurti, was a great historian of Indian press. He told the full name. Mott, 678 page, he writes, Hearst pointed that as my father was minting money from mines, I want to mint money from newspapers. मेरे पिताश्री जैसे खान उद्योग से सोना चांदी निकालते थे, उस तरह से मैं अखबारों से पैसा निकालना चाहता हूं. Then what he did for that? He first puppeted the fake news there. He started to publish yellow cartoon, yellow strips and news items. News is very small, but you are sensitizing it, emotionalizing it. कभी कभी ऐसे होता है कि इन द इवनिंग न्यूज़पेपर देते लिखते हैं हेमा मालिनी का डेथ हो गया, उसको मारा गया, और नीचे लिखते हैं ऐसी रूमर शहर में फैली है, और वो अखबार बांटने वाला लड़का बोलता है पुकार के अखबार 1-1 रुपए को बेचता है, लोगों को दिलचस्प लगता है. सो sensitizing information with false content, that became the yellow journalism. When I was delivering a lecture in a big university in Maharashtra, the boy asked a foolish question. He said, "Sir, is there a education of yellow journalism?" मैंने बहुत ही उसकी मजाक उड़ाई और कहा कि भाई ये तो नहीं हो सकता, ऐसी शिक्षा में कोई नहीं देता. लेकिन ये हिस्ट्री में ऐसा हुआ है कि एक पत्रकार ने ऐसे अखबार निकाल के वो अखबार को बेच के बहुत पैसा कमाया अमेरिका में. So much so that he also competed for the runner. He was a runner for presidential election. Money speaks in America. But he lost. So later on, out of fake news and yellow news, a more mature form was developed by Joseph Pulitzer. 3 volumes are there. Pulitzer Prize Story 1, 2, 3, edited by the same person, Professor John Hohenberg. So, अमेरिका में every year जो कोई अखबार में अच्छा इन्वेस्टिगेशन करता है उसको पुलित्जर प्राइज दिया जाता है. जोसेफ पुलित्जर प्राइज award stories are published in 3 volumes. I read these 3 volumes by the American Center Library. They had sent me to read. ऐसा भी हुआ है कि when a award was given to a journalist, when it was open that was a fake news, you will wonder that there is such a system that they withdrawn the award. So Joseph Pulitzer Prize for Investigative Journalism has 3 more ingredients. Number 1, the story should be authentic. Number 2, it has been recognized. Journalist credentials are recognized by the society. Journalist, what degree he possesses, what he is not important, his social recognition is very important. The third one, that the news should be very thoroughly explored by using the investigative techniques. Why I am telling these 3 things? Because when the process of investigation fails or not conducted properly, then the other side is fake news. When it is successful, it is investigation. When it fails, it becomes a fake. That is a very clear anatomic analysis. Now I will give an example of this. When Richard Nixon was President of America, he was a presidential candidate, same party of Donald Trump. So Democrats' office was in the Watergate building. President's men, what they did, they recorded certain events, they studied some files. This appeared a small news item in New York Times that one person was arrested for investigating in the recording certain evidences in the Watergate office. But Jack Anderson and Bob Packwood followed this small item and they explored. They wrote 12 series and a book out of that came. Title is All the President's Men. And when Nixon was rejecting everything, finally, when the stories were true, President one fine evening appeared on television and reported that for the good faith of American democracy, I am resigning from the post of president. That means he accepted. That was not a fake news. That was investigative journalism. Unfortunately, in our education, we never touch the grassroots level information. Now, it's in the process of our language journalism. What we do, we have produced small booklets, and the students of journalism and mass communication do not read English books. They say, our sir is God, he is telling, that means that is truth. So, unless and until you touch the source material, then you cannot find out what is truthful journalism. Take example of Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He, along with Home Rule movement, Annie Besant, established at Adyar, a National School of Journalism. Even in the Kesari office, he had a journalism training college. And his colleague, Narsiya Chintaman Kelkar, has written a book, Vrittapatra Mimamsa, that is the first book of journalism in Marathi. His articles were earlier published in Kesari and he compiled it. So, the understanding of Indian news, Tilak used to say, don't copy from Times of India. Otherwise, some Marathi papers were writing, in Pune there was a fire, this news we got from Times and we are copying this news. This is a idiot kind of thing. So, don't copy the news from any other newspaper. Always publish original news. That was his consistence. Once people went to Tilak and asked him, Mr. Tilak, Balwant Rao, उनका नाम बलवंत राव था, you are not worshipped today, आपने पूजा नहीं की है. तो उसने कहा कि today I was busy in writing a hitting article, editorial, and I have completed that editorial. That is my puja, that is my worship. Oh, Vivekananda rightly says, duty is worship. The last man who is in agony, वही मेरा परमेश्वर है, ऐसा विवेकानंद का कहना है. So, understanding fake news is a very vital phenomena. There are, you read my booklet, there are 8 types of fake news. So many typologies there. But if we make a genesis of fake news, very important characters. Fake news is not truthful. Fake news is based on sensitive ideas. Fake news is based on hearsay information or rumor. Fake news is based on with a design motto, design interest of defaming an individual or exposing an institution. In the modern period, people hate each other. People are think viciously against the other institution. So competing industries, competing products, competing information, they use fake news techniques. And unfortunately today, even in advertising, these products are these techniques they are using. Don't use them, use our product. That is a kind of fake advertising. So fake news techniques have also entered in marketing and advertising. One I.V. led Betterly, who was a father of public relations in America, Edward Bernays, I.V. Lee, I.V. led Betterly, short form is I.V. Lee, was a professor of marketing in the Princeton University of America. He developed a theory, RACE, research. Do research. If you do research, you will not write fake news. Unfortunately, the research angle in journalism, professional journalism, is totally missing. But my student Shekhar is here, who does an investigative story only on the basis of research because he is a PhD. And his editor, Mr. Agarwal, has given him last month a top award for investigative reporting. So, research is basic to control fake news. Journalists must be trained how to conduct research. You are going to slum area, you want to throw light on slum area in Bhubaneswar, poverty in Odisha. So do research. Oh, Lawrence Campbell and Roland Woolsey, fathers of journalism reporting, they say, why people do not write sociological news? Three things. They are not at all interested in social reformation. They are interested only in political kursi or kissa kursi ka isme hi busy hai. Number two, social news are difficult to explore. In my area, during Corona period, there were child marriages. So we did a story on that. My reporter studied. So automatically what happened? They were able to throw light. Then the laws were enforced. They were controlled. Many were cancelled. So research is basic in controlling fake news. Program of action. A. What program of action newspaper is going to undertake to control fake news? What is the ethical dimension of the newspapers? In America, I was 3 times. I delivered in 14 universities of America lectures on journalism. They say in ethics journalism there are 3 types of ethics are there. Ethics of the own newspaper, suppose Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, New York Times, they have their own ethics. The reporters will not use others' vehicles. 10 principles there. Organization of the city. City Journalists Association has its own ethics. And on the head of all these 3, there is a national code of ethics of the Association of Journalists. And in my book, Journalism in 21st Century, I have given a special chapter on ethics, journalism ethics in the Western countries and India also. I have written there, ethics के जो 5 principles है उसमें लिखा है कि when you verify the evidence or when you write something against an individual or an institution, there is your prime responsibility to say get a quote of that side. What is their side? Unfortunately, in the modern fake news, the other side is totally broken. They do not write a single line on the other side, and whatever they write there thoroughly and they defame the person. And later on, if they say apology, they will write in 4 lines. The defamation cost has no answer. C is communication. Communicate in a delicate manner. Don't use harsh words. Don't injure. Don't put the names of girls, women. So that is ethics. C is communication. E is evaluation. You have to evaluate your journalism. Unfortunately, we never evaluate. Just pages of pages are published and they are thrown in the market. No research is there. So what is important is not ombudsman. Times of India, first ombudsman was Justice Bhagwati. Many media houses, they have an ombudsman. But they do not work more seriously. What is important is those complaints should be investigated. Then only fake news can be controlled. RAC is a formula evolved by IV Ledbetterly. But the 5th point I will add in that is culture. Without understanding the culture, decency of the land, you should not write a fake news. Unfortunately, in Indian media, what is the most cheaper to hit is our Indian culture. So when Professor Raghavan, our Professor J.S. Yadav, director of IIMC, was a professor of anthropology. In the beginning, he had MA anthropology. I am MA archaeology. Professor Yadav used to say, see, understanding culture is very important. There is one journal, Culture and Communication, only 3 issues came, 4 issues that was closed. In the first issue, there was an article of Professor Yadav in which he had quotation from Partha Sarthi, who was director of Indian Institute of Bangalore. And in that article, he wrote, in India, our culture is rich, but our communication media is very poor. That is not able to absorb the height of culture, height of values. Maclone used to define medium is the message. We are all in the morning, right from morning to evening, we are discussing about AI. So, AI is double-edged weapon. It is benefiting and it is also losing. But fake news is not at all benefiting. It is only killing. Initiative in killing the development of the world. It is said fake news give a setback to the economy of the country by not 1%, 0.05 to 7%. What today India's economy is suppose 7%, it would have been 7.5 if there are less fake news. Why China has no fake news? Because they have a communist media pattern. If somebody write a fake news, they will punish thoroughly. So, on the global level, take the countries, African countries, example of many Asian countries, you will find there fake news is damage their development 0.9%. So fake news destroys development initiatives. Fake news gives a setback to agriculture due to because they will say such and such chemical has come, such and such fertilizer has come. If you use, your crop pattern will go down. Automatically farmer will be disturbed out of that. So disturbing fake information is a great threat to agriculture, industries, higher education, health, security. About health, one of my students is working fake news in the corona pandemic in the post-truth era. What is truth? As I was telling in the afternoon, as we call it as our Kali Yuga. Post-truth is derived from postmodernism. Postmodernism, Habermas, a political scientist, developed this concept. And this concept is based on postmodernism means use of media in politics, use of media in every walk of life. That is postmodernism. And this postmodernism came as a truth, and this truth has cheated entire corona pandemic. Many people died due to just panic. Because in corona pandemic, first, second, and third wave, peak of the fake news were prepared and spread through that too on social media platforms. Misuse of social media platforms. Social media platforms have become vehicle of fake news. Now, when you're talking about genesis, understand what is the mechanism of fake news. Those who write fake news, used to write fake news in the corona pandemic, we studied as many as 65 fake news. And it has been found that the fake news content generators, they are not journalists, they are individuals. They develop an anatomy, echo chamber. The concept, you just understand the concept. What is echo chamber? That means suppose we are 10 people of same group, same ideas, same age, same political conceptions. We will create the chambers and we load fake information. And I say, oh, very good. He says, very good. Okay, emoji batata hai, all so everybody nodding. And that fake news spreads like anything. And there is no entry in the fore to counter the news. That is echo chamber. When you create such an information ecosystem that there is no entry to attack in the fort of information. They say, what we are telling, वही सही है, यही सही है, सही वही है. बोले तो they prepare such an atmosphere that that is their say, and their theory is all the time truthful. And after 6 months, 3 months, when the fake news is exposed, then they will say, the purpose is served. So that is the genesis of fake news in the truth era. So then what is the remedy on fake news? Three things are very important. Number one, there should be a legal framework. Now, to control the social media in India, ethical regulations are already available, but certain legal provisions are also tabled in the parliament. Number two, ethical dimension should be very clearly stated. Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution guarantees freedom of expression. But there are all limitations. Unfortunately, media never understands its limitations. They go for media trial, they go for their own bureaucratic, their own dictatorship. And the third is social watchdog. In America, capitalism never becomes vandalist because there are social corporate responsibilities and social systems to control capitalism. In India also, our media houses should develop certain kind of social norms and methods. With these few points, I end my lecture with a Sanskrit say, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharatah sambhavami yuge. Whenever there is an inertia of ages, I will come, appear with a Sudarshan Chakra. Now our DRDO has also prepared one Sudarshan, and to protect our public life from the dangerous attack of terrorists. So fake news is also a vehicle of terror in the world. So in order to overcome all the difficulties, we should end the fake news with strong initiative and strong actions. With these few words, I thank you very much, and I pay again my humble tribute to my friend Sunil Kant Behra of Behrampur University and Assam Silchar University. Thank you very much for patient listening. Thank you all. Thank you very much. कबीर का एक दोहा देता हूं और मेरा भाषण खत्म करता हूं. अटल जी को बहुत भाषण में दोहे देना या शेर देना, कभी कभी तो तुकारामा से अभंग भी वो गाते थे. बुडता है जन न देखे डोळा, कसा येई कळवळा. That means I am very much difficult that these people are duped out. The world is sinking in tragedies. That says Tukaram. So बड़ा हुआ तो क्या हुआ, जैसा पेड़ खजूर, पंछी को छाव नहीं, फला लागे अति दूर. जय हिंद, जय असम, जय त्रिपुरा, जय अपना, जय जगन्नाथ. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We are not going for any question. Topic थिला था. No, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. At the same time, for your tribute to Professor Sunil Kant Behra in his third memorial lecture. Uh, Thank you all for patience hearing. And at the same time, I bow my head before all the gurus present over here. And I express my deepest gratitude to Professor V.L. Dharudkar sir for his wonderful and most effective memorial lecture on genesis of fake news, a sociological perspective. And not only sociological perspective, he has touched two different dimensions and different perspective of fake news and its impact and implications. Thank you all once again on behalf of 9th National Media Conclave 2025. Thank you very much. Jai Jagannath.
students. So we'll take a 5 minutes break now, and after 5 minutes we'll have the cultural program. And I request Professor Fakirimon Naik to coordinate and moderate the cultural program of this evening. Thank you. Just wait for 5 minutes. Shortly we'll start the cultural program. In between, those are interested, you can have tea outside in the cafeteria. You can go to cafeteria and have your tea and some snacks. Enjoy. Shortly.
हेलो हेलो ଏବେ ଦେଖିଲେ हेलो हेलो ଏବେ ମୁଁ ଆଖି ଖୋଲିଥାଏ তো ବଢ଼େଇ ଦେ ଦୁଃଖ ମୋ କୋଳେ ଜଗାରେ ଜଗାରେ ଜଗା ଛିଡ଼ି ଯାଏ ମୋ ପାଦ ଭାବ୍ୟ ତୁଳସୀଟେ କରିଦେରେ ମତେ ଝୁଲୁଥିବି ତୋ ଗଳାରେ ଜଗାରେ ଓ ଜଗାରେ ତୋ ହସ ଟିକେ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ମୋ ମନ ଝୁରେ ଜଗାରେ ଜଗାରେ କି ଜାଦୁ ଅଛି କାହାର ଜଗା ଆଖିରେ ତୋ ପଥ ଦୌଡ଼ି ପାରେ ନାହିଁ ଛୁଇଁ ଏମିତି ଅଭାଗା ମୁଝେ ଏ ପାପି ଆଖିକୁ ପାପ ହାରିବାକୁ ନନ୍ଦୀ ଘୋଷ ଖାଲି ଖୋଜେ ମିଛ 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 ଦୁନିଆଟା ମିଛ ତୁ ହିଁ ମୋର মেঘ সাজি তবে দিঘে মতে তোহরে ডান্ডে তোর খচকা তলে রাত মো যাও শান্তি রে জগারে ଜଗାରେ ତୁ ହସ ଟିକେ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ମୋ ମନ ଝୁରେ ଜଗା Were you born between 1980 to 2000? Axis Max Life is 100% genuine claims paid with 3 hours payment guarantee. No waitings and no worries. What are you waiting for? Click on the link below to calculate your premium. କ୍ଷୀର ଦରଜ ବୁଝୁ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ତୁ ଦରଦି ବନ୍ଧୁ ସବୁ ଦେଇଛୁ ଭଲରେ ଅଛି କରୁଣା ତୋର ପାନ ସିନ୍ଧୁ রে নাচু ধরে খালি রে শান্তি পায় দেখি তো জগন্নাথ 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 রে জগন্নাথ নারায়ণায় নমো নমঃ বাসুদেবায় নমো নমঃ নারায়ণায় নমো নমঃ प्रभु हर पल हर दिशा में तुम बसे जय जय जगन्नाथ जय जय जगन्नाथ जय जय जगन्नाथ जय जय जगन्नाथ भगवान नामରେ ଦୁନିଆ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହୁଏ ଯେଉଁଠାରେ ଭକ୍ତି ରହିଥାଏ ଯେଉଁଠି ଶାନ୍ତିର ପ୍ରେମର ବର୍ଷା ହୁଏ ନିରାଚୟ ନାଚ ସୃଷ୍ଟିର ସ୍ଥିତିକାରିକ ଜୟ ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଜୟ ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଜୟ ଶ୍ରୀ ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ